A very good morning to the students, especially the young students. Many times we think decision making should be only after people mature. Not true. Decision making, if started early, can make a lot of difference in the growth of the younger children. Let's look at getting a few more ideas on this. It is very important at all stages. Remember, I made a decision at the age of 60 whether to now stop or to take up some new challenges. But it was a decision to be done. Can I just say, okay, let me try something? No, that's not the way it happens. What is it that decision making makes us? So I was decisive. Even when I made mistakes, I was decisive. We all learn to become independent, and which is a wonderful quality which every human being today needs. Decision making comes in every place. Choosing good friends. Remember, if you have a good friend circle, very empowering, it will help us in to get over any adversity we face in life, whether it relates to academics, job, anything else. Even decision making for teens is very important to look at what subjects I should study, what is the degree I should go for, what is the career I should opt, and why. So decision making comes everywhere. Let's look at the process once and see if we are following all this when we take a decision. And it's not very difficult. What is the issue? And what are the alternatives we have? What are the options we have? Is something we can note down. Better to write it down or put it on a note page in the mobile or the laptop. Look at what we are good at. What are our strengths? Also look at what we like to do. What is it that we love? If we are able to do something in future which we are good at, naturally endowed, or and I said and what you like, you love, then what better? You never have to work your whole life. You're doing something you're good at and you like to do it. So your whole life is only a pleasure. Weigh the consequences, very important. Remember, when we make decisions, we need to look at the pros and cons, just not take one idea. For example, when I was mentoring one of the children who looked so bright and he failed in CA in the second stage. So when I was looking at it, I asked him, why are you doing CA? He said, because my father wants me to do CA. I felt that maybe that was a not really empowering. It was not what he was good at. He had not even examined it. It was not something he loved. He loved sports. He loved so many other things. So I told him, if you want to do CA, if you want to write this exam again, your reason why you are doing CA should be very clear with you. Weigh the consequences, because when you fail in something you really do not want, then it is really sad. If you want it and you love it, then it doesn't matter. When you fail, learn from it and pass next time. Always look at all the positives. Don't just look at one positive, look at 5 positives. Don't look at one negative, put 5 possible negatives. Weigh the consequences. Consider your core values. Sometimes we don't know what our core values are. In fact, for looking at this, when we looked at that overcoming limitations, we thought of sharing an Excel sheet with you in which all values, plus and minus, were set out. Look at your strengths, which are the empowering values you have. Consider them while making a decision. It may appear a bit complicated, but remember, everything need not be remembered and put every time. After you do it couple of times, you already know what are your core values. Sometimes it's good to get inputs from a elder. Guidance from elder can be your parent. It can be somebody who has achieved something in your life, brother, cousin, teacher. It can be anybody, but you should respect that person. Get inputs from them. Take their time properly. Uncle, I want to spend 15 minutes with you. I need your guidance. Nobody will tell you, no, I am busy. After that, evaluate your final choice. Choice is yours, not what some elder says. It may align to what the elder says. You may agree to the elder and choose that. Once you have decided, no, very important act. Decision is something which kills all other alternatives. I decided to do CA because I wanted to be independent, but I was very good in chemistry. So what happened when I took up CA? I forgot about chemistry. I looked at finishing CA. It was difficult, failed many times, kept on doing, finally passed. And I always joke that all of you rank students, you have not understood the law the way I have understood. You have not understood businesses the way I have understood. You have not understood tax the way I have understood. Why? Because I had to study 4 times, 5 times what you had to study. So I revised so many times, my concepts, my fundas have become very clear, much better than yours. True or false, y'all can decide. I think very apt for this particular thinking. The way kids learn to make good decisions is by making decisions, not following directions. When somebody tells you do this, it doesn't go well with us. If the persons say, what do you think should be done in such a circumstance? And then we say something, then they ask us some more questions. Finally, we come to an answer, but we come to the answer. We come to the decision. It may align with what the senior or the elder is talking about. If so, then we grow because we have made the decision. It is my decision, and therefore I will follow it much easier. Alfie Kohn rightly quotes like this. So answer this question. We've got a lot of inputs now. What is essential for making wise choices during teenage years? Pause the video. Guidance. We have to ask others. Don't think that I know everything. In fact, Aristotle, one of the wisest men on earth, 3000 years back, was asked, what is the extent of your knowledge? And you know what he said? I do not know the extent of my knowledge, but I know the vast amount of ignorance I have. Really true, no? We can't know everything in this world, but there are people who can guide us, who can tell us, who can give us inputs. We can decide based on that. Not one, we can go to 4 people before we decide. Google itself is a good teacher. Let's look at 1 or 2 case studies so we get clear. These are simple case studies. One is choosing between courses. So it's a simple choice, commerce or science. Actually, nowadays there are so many options. So if there are 4 more options, put it, then look at it. So if I do commerce, what is it which is the pro? What is the advantage? Easy admission. I can go into many career options. I can go into data feeding. I can go into KPO. KPO is knowledge process outsourcing. I can go into CA. I can go into management. There are so many aspects, so many areas. It's easier for me to go. What is the flip side of it? What is the negative? Since it's easier, the number of people who do it will be very large. And the job market is very competitive in the lower levels. If I were to look at improving myself, then the option of going for MBA from top business schools out of 10 lakh people, maybe 100 get through. Very challenging to go through the entrance exam. Then you have courses like CA, which are challenging. The subject is very vast. Exams are a bit competitive. So we may fail, like me, a couple of times. If I were to take science at that time, the education is certainly more focused, which also means that in commerce, you have a lot of time to play around. You will develop possibly many hobbies, sometimes even good habits. And of course, the other side of it, bad habits also. But science normally can lead you to prestigious careers. The first level of science, however, today is not so important. For example, if you do your BSc or you do engineering, it is only the stepping stone for doing something else, doing MS or management. The other side of it, science is a bit tougher, longer work period. You have to study much longer compared to, commerce. But remember, no pain, no gain. Everywhere, if I put a lot of effort in year 1, 2, 3, possibly the returns or the advantages will be far in excess of those who don't have to put much effort in the first 3 years of college. Very, very important while doing this. Look at the course which will make you happy. If you remember in the starting, we said, make a list of things which you are happy with. You're happy to do it. And what you're good at. Take an aptitude test. You may take an aptitude test or you may paid aptitude test or even look at something which is available freely. Be clear about why you want to do what you're doing. Does it match your goals, career goals? For example, I wanted to be a recognized expert in one area. So I didn't choose the area where there were too many experts. So I chose an area in which there were hardly any experts. I became one of the experts over a period of 10 years. So my career goal was very clear. And thanks to that one decision which I made in 1989, I became very well known. My brand became good. I was able to earn not well, very well. I was able to inspire hundreds to join my office. And we also did exceedingly well. What does Catherine say? Choices are there all around. Life provides many choices. The choice we decide on will determine our future. And therefore, it's very important that we decide properly. Should I go for employment? Should I go for further education? Which is the one? I'm assuming that this is for 80% of Indian youth who are not very well off at this point of time. They might have come from rural areas, from farmers' background, come from middle class families, where money is not easy to come. So if we are looking at this, if we are looking at higher education, what is it that is the advantage? Advantage is I will improve my chances to start with a good job. I will focus only on studies. If I get into employment, then I will get very less time to focus on improving my knowledge, improving my skills. The potential for getting recruited in the campus, in the colleges or the institutions where I do the work, where I'm studying, is much higher. The other side of it is studies cost a lot. Financial constraints may be there. And in case you are not getting through, or as you get older and older, the money not being available will cause a lot of stress. Even the studies can cause a lot of stress when you don't get through or you don't get a rank which will get you some advantage. It can create a lot of stress. On the other side, if we are able to look at what are the options available, can I get a loan? Can I be sponsored? Remember, there are possibilities everywhere. Where there is a will, there is a way, they say. So cons should not defeat you anytime. But you have to be practical. However, you might have a situation. We have had boys and girls in our office who have not had food to eat on few days. I can't even imagine it. I have not missed a meal. Even when I fall sick, I'll eat. I can't imagine that a child has gone without food for 2 days. It's not imaginable for me, but that is the reality. And these boys and girls who did this today are chartered accountants, having their own offices, earning in earning 2 lakhs a month. I'm really proud of them and thankful to them that they gave an opportunity for us to support them to reach their potential. If they go for employment, the choice, maybe I can support my family immediately. Maybe I have to postpone my growth goals to a little later. I can learn something in the evenings, maybe. We had people going to evening college when they were doing articles with us. We had people who took up some special courses in the evenings. Even in CA itself, the interns in the morning, 6 o'clock, they'll get up, go for tuition, come to our office. At 5 o'clock, they'll leave. Again, they'll go to tuition classes, reach home at 10 o'clock. Can you imagine 6 to 10? Of course, there'll be gaps in between, but that was the type of training they could give themselves in spite of working. Why did they come for internship? They would get stipend and they would also get experience. Going for employment immediately is that once you give a gap in your education, can you get back? Am I compromising on my future? I've seen a lot of people who regret that they earned some money while they were learning. In CA, this is very common. Because CA is an area where you get in touch with many businesses and maybe start looking at it. And when you look at it, you start making money there. And then you say, okay, let me study only 2 hours a day. And then what happens? You don't get through CA, you drop CA. But later you see all those friends of yours who completed CA and became CFOs of organizations who are leading big practices. Then you regret. Be very clear when you choose. While we have to prioritize family, family is the most important person for anybody. But when you do this, assess your commitment to work and see if you can study simultaneously, even if you take up employment. So you can have a present compromise, but future win. I would suggest that when you choose or decide, you can do this type of thinking. And that's why we started with one slide of the steps of decision. I would like to thank all of you, young audience, future wonderful citizens of India, future professionals. There's a small article also in the description you can go through, which is in bit more detail. Remember, the videos are only to inspire you, to spark you. Thank you very much.